All right, everybody. First, before we even start, I was given this opportunity, and this is Memorial Day, so I want to take a moment to have a moment of closer, here.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to give everybody an opportunity to have a moment of silence, but I'm going to do this a little bit differently than you typically do. So I'm going to ask everybody in the audience to close their eyes for a moment, to really sit back, think about a veteran going all the way back to the colonial veterans, to World War II, through 1,000 nameless wars of the global war on terror. Think about that person. Think about what those members sacrificed, from our very first veterans who fought for their country, to those who fought for their friends, which was a lot of us, and those who fought, and this is important, for equality, for a chance, for a future for their own children. Think about that, and for the next 10 seconds, we're going to have a moment of silence, and I'd really like you to think about that, and I'll keep the time. How pleased those veterans must be that you thought of them, that you thought of their sacrifice. How honored they must feel up in heaven or wherever they happen to be. But that was your moment, and thank you for doing that, and thank you for those veterans that have given all. I hope this gives you perspective on service, on their legacy, and on the bond that veterans continue to share across our generations. My generation, our generation of veterans, rose from the embers of 9/11. Our country called on us from every generation, World War I, World War II, through Vietnam, through Desert Storm, all the way up until 9/11 occurred, and our generation answered the call. It was my generation that answered the call, and then the following generations, where sons and daughters and others served in bases all across the world with other family members that have also served. And we built something. We built a military, we built a country shaped by our values and our shared experience. We built it based on unity, on acceptance, and on the belief that the post-9/11 world could be better than the one we left behind. Our lives were forged in decades of war, shaped by loss, victory, death, and celebration, and grounded in the deep relationships that formed in the crucible. When I joined the United States Army in 1996, I never imagined it would lead to this moment. Standing here on this common, on this sacred ground, to speak out on the behalf of the value of those fallen heroes. Many of those heroes fought not just for our freedom, but to earn the respect and citizenship of a country that asked them for their service. That's right. That's right. And here's the rub. Here's the real thing. Here's the real problem with that. Many of those people did not ever make it to see that dream, but they helped everybody else here do that. We are the ones who remain, both citizens and veterans. We owe it to their honor, to their duty, and to their willingness to sacrifice for us. So today we will speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. And what we owe them, make no mistake, can be given freely, and we will give it today. Because when we all took the oath, and in the oath we know that we serve no king. We serve the people, you, and we serve the Constitution. That, my friends, is the truth that they don't want to hear. But the truth on its own is not enough. Not if it's ignored, not if it's used against us and weaponized, or wrenched from our hands. Because when truth is owned by a sovereign, no one is free. Tell you a little story. We have a little history because we're Massachusetts. 1774, British Parliament passed an act called the Administration of Justice Act. The colonists called it something else, the Murder Act. It allowed royal officials sent by a king in another country to the United States, to the colonies, to commit crimes of rape, murder, and kidnapping with no accountability and no justice and only unfair courts to try the accused. Ooh. That injustice on these greens and in Chelmsford and Billerica and all of the colonial towns of Massachusetts sparked the formation of a radical idea that government must be accountable everywhere, always, and never above due process. We chose no king then, and we choose no king now. Yet today, we see an ICE agency determined and satisfied to break the most basic tenets of our Constitution, shredding the rights of immigrants and American citizens alike. Just today, people are posting Facebooks of abandoned cars being like, where's this person's family? Can you imagine the terror of being an immigrant in this country? Just this week, ICE detained an American citizen. Not the first one, not the second one, who knows how many, because there is no accountability in our government. When one of us loses due process, all of us lose due process. My call to action to the federal government and to our political leaders is accountability, hearings, limits on power. Fight back. Fight back! Because these are grievous injuries to our way of life. These are intolerable acts. So I'm going to say two more things, and I really appreciate your time today, and I appreciate you listening to this old retired veteran. First, if you're a general officer or an officer in the United States Army or military at all, it's your enlisted people putting their careers and their retirements at risk to stand in front of crowds and to give speeches. We need, and I can't believe I'm saying this as an enlisted guy, we need some officers to come in and provide leadership. Shouldn't be an E7 and an E5 standing out here. And yes, the government will take away people's retirements. People that come and speak at these put themselves at risk, just like we're asking all of them to do. And lastly, to Governor Healey, Massachusetts residents and citizens are afraid in their own home state. We cannot hide behind the executive robes. We elected you to sit in that seat, so when we needed you, you would stand up. Fight, claw, break the rules if you must, comply maliciously when you can. Because, Madam Governor, we kneel to no king. Thank you.